Imagine sitting at a restaurant in Peru and the waiter asks you what you like to eat. You want to say, I don't like spicy food. Or maybe you are talking to a friend about hobbies and want to say, I love going cycling on weekends. Today, we are teaching you exactly how to say what you like and don't like in Spanish so you can share your likes and dislikes confidently in any situation.
Welcome to Spanglish Friends, the podcast for true beginner Spanish learners.
Hola amigos, I'm Val, your co-host and experienced Spanish teacher from Venezuela.
And I'm Em, your Australian co-host who's been learning Spanish for 10 years.
Our goal is simple, to get you confident listening and speaking in beginner Spanish with content you'll actually use in real-life conversations.
Join the Spanish Friends community by subscribing wherever you listen to podcasts and following us on social media at Spanglish_friends. Let's get started.
Comencemos.
Muy buenos días, amigos. Bienvenidos de nuevo. Welcome back, Spanglish friends.
Welcome, amigos. Welcome back to episode 26, nuestro episodio 26. Today is going to be super fun and practical because knowing how to talk about what you like and don't like is something you'll use almost every day.
Exactamente. And as always, we're going to frame today's lesson around 3 key questions of the day. Are you ready? They are. Pregunta número 1. How do I say what I like in Spanish? How do you say, for example, I like to do this thing or I like this kind of food? Pregunta número 2. How do I say what I don't like in Spanish? For example, I don't like this kind of food or doing this kind of activity. Pregunta número 3. How do I ask someone else what they like versus don't like in Spanish? For example, their food preferences, their hobbies, and activities.
Those 3 questions will guide our today's lesson. And as always, amigos, we'll start with a quick mini conversation, una conversación pequeña, so you can hear it in context. Setting the scenes for today's conversation, Em and I are going to ask each other about our likes and dislikes in Spanish.
That's right. This first time around, just listen out for any familiar words before we dive into our questions of the day. ¿Lista, Profe Val?
Amiga, sí, estoy lista. Comencemos.
Hola, Val. ¿Te gusta la pizza?
Hola, Emi. Sí, me gusta mucho la pizza. ¿Y a ti?
A mí me encanta, especialmente con mucho queso.
¡Qué rico! ¿Te gusta la comida picante?
No, no me gusta la comida picante.
Ah, a mí me gusta un poco de picante, pero no demasiado.
¿Y en tu tiempo libre, Val? ¿Te gusta leer?
Sí, me encanta leer novelas de misterio. ¿Y a ti?
A mí me gusta, pero prefiero ver películas.
Ah, genial. ¿Y te encantan las vacaciones en la playa?
Sí, me encantan las vacaciones en la playa, especialmente nadar en el mar. Nice, friends. So you probably caught some of those new words already, but don't worry if you didn't. We're going to break down everything you need to know about likes and dislikes in Spanish in under 10 minutes. So let's start the timer and vamos con la primera pregunta.
On to our pregunta número 1, our question number 1. How do I say what I like in Spanish?
So to describe what we like, we need to use the verb gustar, which means to like something in Spanish, and encantar, which means I love something, right? If we want to add more emphasis. Both can be used in the singular or plural form. Let's teach you exactly what that means.
Exactamente. The singular forms are me gusta, te gusta, or le gusta. They end in a. The plural forms are me gustan, te gustan, le gustan. They end with am. In this case, to add the plural form, you just need to add an m in the end of the verb gusta.
So let's give you some examples about likes in Spanish. You could say, me gusta la pizza. I like pizza. You could say, me gustan los tacos, right? The A-N plural form because we're talking about more than one taco. Or you could say, me encanta ir en bicicleta, which is I love going cycling, using that single form. Or you could say, me encantan, that plural form of I love something, me encantan las películas, which is I love movies. Película is a movie. Me encantan las películas.
Awesome summary. And now, Spanglish friends, let's practice. Repeat after us. I'm going to start with me gusta.
Okay, me gusta,
Me gustan.
me gustan. Then we have me encanta,
Me encanta. And then we have me encantan.
me encantan.
Perfect. That covers likes.
That's right, what you like and what you love in Spanish using gustar and encantar. Now for pregunta número dos. How do I say what I don't like in Spanish? What's the trick, Profe Val?
The trick is very simple. Add the word no before the phrase, before gusta.
Oh, nice and simple. So if I wanted to say it in singular form, I could say no me gusta, I do not like, or no me encanta, I do not love. In the plural form, I could say no me gustan, I don't like, or no me encantan, I do not love.
Exactamente. And it's important also to mention that when we say in Spanish we don't like something, it's more common to say with the verb gustar more than with encantar, more than we love. You might hear more no me gusta or no me gustan instead. And examples could be no me gusta la comida picante. I don't like spicy food. In plural form, we could say no me gustan los frijoles. I don't like beans. And with encantar, we could say no me encanta levantarme temprano. I don't love waking up early. And another one could be in plural form, no me encantan las películas de terror. Like, I really don't love horror movies. Always encantar add more emphasis in the part that you really don't like something or you don't love it.
That's right. So now, friends, you can express both your likes and dislikes in Spanish by saying no me gusta or gustan, or no me encanta or no me encantan, based on if it's a singular or plural thing that you're talking about.
And question 3, that is all about asking someone else. Nuestra pregunta número 3. How do I ask someone what they like versus don't like in Spanish?
The answer is, if we're using the tú form, the informal you can say te gusta, do you like, or te encanta, do you love this thing? Or if it was a plural form, you could say te gustan or te encantan. You just put a inflection at the end of your voice to make the sentence into a question. It's not like English where you have to add additional words to say do you. You just add the inflection to say te gustan or te encantan. How handy.
Yes, it's more in the sound, how it sounds. That's right. Here are some examples with hobbies, food, and activities. With hobbies, you could ask, for example, ¿te gusta leer? ¿Te gusta leer? Which means, do you like reading? And you can answer with, sí, me gusta leer, the same structure. Or if you don't like, you can say, no, no me gusta leer. I don't like reading. Another example can be te encanta bailar. Te encanta bailar, adding emphasis in the part of do you love dancing? And you can answer with sí, me encanta bailar. Or if not, you can say no, no me gusta, no me encanta bailar. I don't like dancing.
Let's share some example with food. For example, you could ask someone, ¿te gusta la pizza? Do you like pizza? You could reply with sí, me gusta la pizza. Or you could say, no, no me gusta la pizza. I don't like pizza. You could say, te encantan los helados. Te encantan los helados. Do you love ice creams? And you could say, sí, me encantan los helados. Or you could say, no, no me encantan los helados. Like, I don't like ice creams.
And with our last scenario with activities, you can ask someone, ¿te gusta ir al cine? For example, like, do you like going to the cinema? And if you like, you can respond, sí, me gusta ir al cine. I like going to the cinema. And if you don't like it, you can say, no, no me gusta ir al cine. I don't like going to the cinema. And with encantar, you could ask, for example, to add emphasis again, you can say, ¿Te encantan las vacaciones en la playa? Do you love going on vacation to the beach? If you love it, you can answer with sí, me encantan. Or if you don't, you can respond with no, no me encantan las vacaciones en la playa.
Woohoo! Muy bien. Now you've learnt, Spanglish friends, everything needed to listen to that conversación pequeña a second time.
Exactamente. This time around, Spanglish friends, look out for the new vocab we've taught you to describe what you like versus what you don't like with gustar and encantar. Can you understand what we are saying we love this time around?
¿Lista para otra conversación, Val?
Sí, Emi, estoy lista. Comencemos.
Hola, Val. ¿Te gusta la pizza?
Hola, Emi. Sí, me gusta mucho la pizza. ¿Y a ti?
A mí me encanta, especialmente con mucho queso.
Qué rico. ¿Te gusta la comida picante?
No, no me gusta la comida picante.
Ah, a mí me gusta un poco de picante, pero no demasiado.
Mm. ¿Y en tu tiempo libre, Val? ¿Te gusta leer?
Sí, me encanta leer novelas de misterio. ¿Y a ti?
A mí me gusta, pero prefiero ver películas.
Ah, genial. ¿Y te encantan las vacaciones en la playa?
Sí, me encantan las vacaciones en la playa, especialmente nadar en el mar. I hope you picked up some of those new phrases this time round, friends. Let's break it all down. First, I said, Hola, Val, ¿te gusta la pizza? I asked her, Val, do you like pizza? ¿Te gusta la pizza?
Of course, I love pizza. So I responded with, sí, me gusta mucho la pizza. Yes, I like pizza a lot. And then I asked her, ¿y a ti? And you?
And I said, a mí me encanta, especialmente con mucho queso. I said, me, I love pizza, especially, it's a very similar word sounding in English, con mucho queso. Con means with, mucho queso means a lot of cheese.
Then I said, qué rico. This is an expression like, oh, how delicious. And then I asked her, ¿te gusta la comida picante? I follow it with, do you like spicy food?
And I said, no, no me gusta. I do not like comida picante, spicy food.
And I reply with, a mí me gusta un poco el picante, pero no demasiado. Breaking the sentence down, I said like, I like a little bit spicy, but not too much. Pero no demasiado. The word demasiado means like too much.
That's right. And then I asked Val about her other likes and dislikes. I said, y en tu tiempo libre, your tiempo libre is your free time. So I asked Val, en tu tiempo libre, Val, ¿te gusta leer? Leer means to read. So I said, do you like reading in your free time, Val?
And I responded with, sí, me encanta leer novelas de misterio. Breaking the sentence down, I said, me encanta, we learned, means I love. And then I said, leer, which means reading or to read, novelas de misterio, mystery novels, novelas de misterio. And then I asked her back, ¿y a ti?
And I said, a mí me gusta. I said again, I like, pero prefiero ver películas. So I said, yes, I like reading too, but I prefer watching movies. I said, pero prefiero. Pero is like but. Prefiero means I prefer ver películas. I prefer to watch movies.
And finally, in this conversation, I asked him, ¿te encantan las vacaciones en la playa? Do you love beach vacations? I wanted to add emphasis in like, do you love them? Vacaciones means vacations or holidays. And la playa means the beach.
And I replied with, sí, me encantan las vacaciones en la playa, especialmente nadar en el mar. So I said, yes, I love beach vacations, using that plural form of me encantan because we're talking about vacations, plural. Especialmente nadar en el mar, especially nadar, which means to swim, en el mar, in the sea.
Perfect. we can use all the verbs we've learned today, amigos. We've learned me gusta, me gustan, me encanta, me encantan, and also the negative form. How good, friends. Now you can understand that whole conversation in Spanish. Felicitaciones. Congratulations. Now for our reto of the day, our challenge of the day. Em, what is our challenge? Tell us.
Yes, put your skills into practice today with what we've learned and tell us with one sentence what you like or dislike in Spanish. For example, you could say, me gusta, me gustan, me encanta, or me encantan, plus the thing that you like or love. Tell us in the comments below.
Post it in the comments or share it with us. We love seeing your practice. Now, let's quickly recap what we've learned today, Spanglish friends. Here are the 3 things we want you to remember from today's episode. Número 1. How to say what you like in Spanish. We learned me gusta, me gustan, me encanta, and me encantan, okay? To talk about the things we enjoy, we like, or we love. For example, you can say, me gusta nadar. I like swimming. Me gusta or me encanta plus the thing you like to do. Número 2. How to say what you don't like in Spanish. We simply add in Spanish no before gustar, like no me gusta or no me encanta, to politely share what we don't like or what we don't enjoy. And last one, número 3. How to ask someone what they like or don't like. We practiced using te gusta with this sound of question, like te gusta, te gustan, and te encanta or te encantan with hobbies, food, and activities. For example, ¿te gusta nadar? Do you like swimming? So you can have a real live conversation with these examples in Spanish.
Woohoo! And before we wrap up today's episode, spoiler alert, friends, because next episode, episodio 27, we're going to be teaching you how to talk about your daily routine in Spanish.
This is something we use every day, right? So this episode is going to be very useful. When do you wake up? What do you do in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening? Great for conversations about yourself in Spanish.
And that's it for today's Spanglish friends. Well done again, and you're learning so much.
Amigos, don't forget your reto, and we are going to see you soon next week in episode 27. See you soon.
Hasta luego, amigos.
Ciao, ciao.
Thank you for listening to Spanglish Friends. We are both so proud of the time you're investing to level up your Spanish listening and speaking skills.
If you've enjoyed today's episode, follow us and give the show a rating wherever you listen to podcasts. Or even better, tell a friend about the show. It's how we can help even more people on their Spanish learning journeys and continue to grow our awesome, supportive community.
Don't forget to check out our socials, including Instagram and TikTok at Spanglish_friends for even more beginner Spanish fun.
Congratulations on taking another step today towards your Spanish learning goals. Ciao, Spanglish amigos. Until next time.
Hasta la próxima, amigos.